a brief backyard chat. We're going to discuss the latest findings of the rainwater analysis that I sent in. Got the results back from the lab. And so I had collected samples of rain, not every time it rained for the past, I don't know, few months, earlier this year as well. But I put samples out when I noticed that they were spraying a lot before the rain. And so we've done this numerous times, but I wanted to do it again just because people seem to need more evidence. I don't know. But the results are aluminum came in at 68 parts per billion or micrograms per liter with a reporting limit of 50. Barium came in at 61 with a reporting limit of 5. Iron came in at 3,700 with a reporting limit of 20. Manganese came in at 25 with a reporting limit of 20. There was strontium was under the reporting limit, but titanium was at 2.2 with a reporting limit of 0.50. For anyone claiming that this is water vapor, the rainwater analysis shows otherwise. These are highly reactive metals, chemicals that they don't appear in free form in nature. They're not just up in the atmosphere floating around. So like barium, for example, highly reactive. You have to bond it to a salt, add it to jet fuel. There's numerous patents in geoengineering proposals. They discuss how they do this. Look at David Keith's presentations, and so they're doing this in the name of science. It's a military science, okay? But we're seeing an uptick in Alzheimer's and autism, and there has been numerous articles coming out saying that both Alzheimer's and autism are linked to particulate pollution. And so where are these particulates coming from? Well, all the rainwater analysis would show, or does show, that it's in our air. Looking at this article from newscientist.com dated September 5th, 2016, air pollution is sending tiny magnetic particles into your brain. Tiny specks of metal and exhaust gases seem to fly up our noses and travel into our brains, where they may contribute to Alzheimer's disease. So I know Alzheimer's is, I think, the 6th leading cause of death in the United States, and it's the #1 leading cause of death now in Wales and I believe Great Britain. Not to mention stroke, respiratory disease overtook stroke as the 3rd leading cause of death. Another quote from the article is, so there's iron as impurities in fuel, and there's iron in a car engine block. If you walk down the street, you'll be breathing them in. How could they not get into your system? So this article is basically saying that there's this iron that showed up in here, iron oxide, that it's an impurity in fuel. Okay, so if they're saying it's an impurity in fuel from cars and stuff, well, we're also getting it from the sky and planes. These magnetite nanoparticles are less than 200 nanometers in diameter, so maybe moving from the air into the nerve endings in our noses and from there to the brain. The team also found that the brains contained nanoparticles of metals that are present in car engines but are rare in the body, such as platinum. So there's more information here that I'll link in when I post this, but just another bit of evidence showing that this is not water vapor. I've talked to neighbors. I've talked to people who maybe have seen these trails in the sky and they write it off as just water vapor. Not really understanding the science of it, of how the relative humidity has to be at 100% and super saturated atmosphere. So they don't understand that, and they're probably not doing rainwater analysis or hair samples, blood samples. But there are so many people who have done those tests, and the tests come back with super high levels of aluminum and barium and all these other reactive chemicals and metals that are in geoengineering proposals. So we know they're spraying. We know it's not water vapor. We can back that up with the rainwater analysis. and the science behind supersaturation. And so it just boggles my mind. I don't understand how people can go throughout their everyday lives giving tacit agreement to this stuff and not throwing a fit, really. I mean, not talking about it, not acknowledging it, not trying to create awareness. I don't resonate with seeing my skies trashed and just acting like it's not there, looking the other way. I just don't resonate with that. Some people do. That's it's just not okay. It's kind of like, for me, knowing that farmed animals are getting slaughtered every second of the day, and they're terrified, and it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. You know, we all talk about peace. We all talk about wanting to clean up our world and everything. Well, we have to acknowledge the evil that's happening and come up with solutions. If we don't acknowledge it's happening, we can't find solutions, because the only way you can find solutions is to acknowledge you first have a problem, right? So there it is, another rainwater test showing aluminum, barium, iron, manganese, and titanium. And you know, there's been you know, a lot of articles on the effects of aerosols and nanoparticulates on the human body and the human health impact. Patrick Roddy, geoengineering activist, he wrote a paper called "The Human Health Impacts of Proposed Geoengineering Solution." Proposed, because it's just in proposal stage, remember. You know, I can link this to it's good knowledge on you know, the U.S. Navy patented a delivery method for solar radiation management, which forms artificially nucleated contrails from metal oxides with a 0.3 micron particle size. So really tiny particulates of these toxic and reactive metals and chemicals. We breathe them in, they accumulate in our body, and unless you metal detox them and chelate them out of your system, they're going to store in your small intestine. The only way you can get that out is by fasting and getting the mucoid plaque out. But this stuff is storing in our body, it's storing in our brains, the aluminum is crossing the blood-brain barrier. That's why you're seeing these upticks in Alzheimer's, autism, brain fog, nausea, you know, just you name it. So a lot of good information out there, it's just a matter of taking a look, researching, presenting it, doing your own research. Don't take anything I say as fact. I have enough evidence to know what's going on. Do your own research. Do your own tests. Share your information. You know, there's no point to doing all these tests if you're just going to keep the information to yourself. So share it with your friends and family, even if it makes you uncomfortable, makes them uncomfortable. The evidence speaks for itself. It's not water vapor they're spraying, okay? It's aerosolized nanoparticulates. There's numerous patents. There's numerous proposals for this stuff, and we can prove they're doing it. So we do have solutions, and this is not fear-mongering. This is just acknowledging what is reality. Every day we go out, we see planes making clouds. That's not natural. That's not normal. Okay, and if the clouds were just water vapor, it'd be no big deal. If it was just a, you know, kind of a part of, you know, air travel, that you know, once in a while you get these harmless water vapor clouds, hey, no big deal. But when you can prove that it's toxic and it's being artificially nucleated, which means it's added to the jet fuel, it's these aerosolized nanoparticles, we have a right to say, hey, I don't consent to this, and my kids are breathing this air, your kids are breathing this air, our parents are getting older, and they're breathing this air, and the aluminum's going to their brain, and you know, so I guess you could see how people say it's population control, and it just pisses me off, and it pisses me off that a lot of people will just write this off as no big deal, or look the other way, or make excuses for it. Stop making excuses for it. Do your own tests. Look at the patents for weather modification, solar radiation management. you know, albedo. You know, what they're trying to do is, who knows what they're trying to do? It looks like they're terraforming, you know, this world, but there's no way that trashing our skies will ever be acceptable, you know, to a population that's not completely brainwashed and ignorant. Okay, so there we go. I'll post the results, and you know, we'll do another chat soon. I've been wanting to do a chat on karma and how we treat others, the golden rule, which I think is a big deal in our world. Is we have people not treating others like the way they want to be treated. So we have a bunch of hypocrites. They wouldn't want to be treated that way, but they will pay someone else to do that to someone else, or they'll do it to someone else indirectly. So we'll talk about that next, but for now I just wanted to post the results of this latest rainwater analysis. We have all the evidence that's happening, and we will do a chat on orgonite and heavy metal detox and the solutions, and that's important. That's just as important as acknowledging that we have a problem. But for now, you know, it seems like we're just kind of taking baby steps in this awakening process, going real slow. For now, we're just going to talk about, hey, we have a problem here, and we can prove it, and we're going to do something about it. So. All right, that's it for now. We'll see you. See you next time.